I was making breakfast for my parents, and then I was going to the bank when we were done. I started my car, and I started to smell gas. And I opened the windows, opened the door, I got out, I walked maybe a couple of feet, and I don't remember anything.
I was out on my way to do some shopping on a Sunday morning, and while I was on my way, my wife called me on my cell phone and said that Rosaline, my daughter, had collapsed in the garage and I better get home. So I turned right around, quickly came back, and found her sitting unresponsive. She couldn't speak, and so we immediately called for an ambulance.
And I do remember the paramedic kept saying to me, Rosaline, would you take? And I was trying to say nothing, but nothing was coming out.
I think they were just very accustomed to a young woman, her age, with incoherency, symptoms like that it was normally some type of drug overdose. So it didn't rule out a stroke. I guess most young women don't get strokes, but it can happen. The following morning, they had rushed her into radiology to do an MRI, and it just seemed a lot of panic at that point among the staff of the hospital, and they told us that she was having a stroke.
Apparently, I had a huge blood clot in my brain.
We realized that this is something that should have been attended to like almost 24 hours prior to that. We didn't even know if she was going to survive. It was very stressful.
Now I'm thinking about it, it was scary. But at the time I didn't really knew anything.
When we first went in to see her, she couldn't speak, and she looked like she recognized us. But
my memory was not good. I could not speak. My right leg, at the time, I couldn't really walk.
So the stroke affected the right side of her body.
Even then, when I came home, even then, I couldn't do anything. My mom had to help with everything. A bunch of doctors in the hospital took away from part of my life.
At the time, I was working for Suffolk County government, and I knew a lot of lawyers that worked for Suffolk County, and one particular friend of mine said, well, you really should try to hold the hospital and the doctors accountable.
And I was like, why are we going to get an attorney? And I was like, I think his friend was saying, you have a case.
He said Duffy had a very good reputation. I was struck by how professional they were and compassionate.
I thank them very, very, very much. I'm thanking for Mary Ellen, Michael, Pete, Onika, Crystal, Mary, everybody that was on my case.
They all were very compassionate with Rosaline and patient. It would have been better if it never happened, but the financial settlement does go a long way towards making her life somewhat easier.